All good.
So yeah, like, could you walk us through it? Like, do you just send like the recipe ahead of time or the ingredients ahead of time?
What I do is it's live on Zoom, so you can see me, I can see you just like it is now. So you can see exactly what I'm doing. I can see what you're doing. The recipe and ingredients and supplies I send out ahead of time. Usually they're very common ingredients. There's not anything tricky that, people are going to have trouble finding. And then everybody has their ingredients and their supplies and tools out. They have access to me before the Zoom. So if they have questions, because baking's not like cooking where if you don't have the right thing, you can substitute it. Totally different in that regard.
Yeah.
And then we go through the recipe and we bake it together. And I'm watching them to make sure I keep them on track so nobody gets misplaced and has raw ingredients at the end. I want you to have a completed product. And we do games and have stuff in between, as you know, it's baking. So it's a really interactive, immersive experience.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah, I'm doing them for corporations. I do them for private groups and also, kids. But right now the focus is on corporate clients because they're looking for a virtual solution because, nobody's having holiday parties in person just yet. So, yeah.
It's going to be another year of not yet doing holiday parties. Boo.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Just kidding, but we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks for sharing that, Chef Maria.
Absolutely.
Just while we're on that topic, before we jump right in, is it just on your Facebook page that you?
Oh, I'm getting ready to drop my I'm all over social media. I'm even on TikTok now. But I am going to drop my website in the chat and the link to the page that talks about the baking experiences as well.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, hey there, everyone. So good to see all of you. Well, see your names, I guess. Feel free to turn your mic, turn your camera on, but no pressure. We are in week 2 of Facing Facebook. So hi to our people here in Zoom. Hi to everyone on Facebook joining us today. Last week, we covered Business Suite on the Facebook platform. Today, we're focusing on optimizing pages and groups. Correct, Tony? Optimizing pages and groups. And then next week, I close you out with the Facebook Creator Studio. And that will be the end of the Facing Facebook series for the month of November before we take a break for the Thanksgiving holiday, which for those that joined us a little after the conversation started is my absolute favorite holiday. And it's just because I love food, y'all. And I like giving things, but it's the food, something about the food. For those that are new with us today, I am Magalia Sin. I serve as the director of Hustle Winston-Salem, which is a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to inclusive entrepreneurship. And we do that in a number of ways. One of those ways being this particular program, Marketing Outside the Box, which a few years ago, we surveyed our community of entrepreneurs and small business owners and asked them about their greatest needs. And we got an overwhelming response that marketing is a need. And, honestly, I was in a Winston-Salem Black Chamber of Commerce meeting last night and just listening to some of the members, we very much still realize that marketing is still a #1 need because the members were talking just yesterday about the need for marketing resources in our community. So as long as that need still exists, you will have Marketing Outside the Box here for you. We do this program in partnership with the Foresight Tech Small Business Center. So if you are outside of the Triad or North Carolina area, not familiar with these entities, we welcome you to our community through the virtual screen. We won't have time to do individual introductions, so we really encourage you to use the chat, and on Facebook, use the comment feature to introduce yourself, tell us about your business, drop your Facebook page so that we can go to your Facebook page and follow. Feel free to go to your business page and follow along with our presenter today. And yeah, that's all good and well. And before I hand it over to Tony for today's presentation, I do want to encourage for those that receive our newsletter, you should have received one this morning. And if you didn't, because you weren't on our newsletter list, just send us an email. Tony can put our email address in the chat for you. But send us an email and we can forward it to you. But if you go into our newsletter from today and kind of scroll through the resources section of our newsletter, we did include 2 additional Facebook resources for you. One is a free download from one of our past presenters, Keisha Ward. She has shared a downloadable document to help you be more visible with your branding on and off social media. So that may be beneficial for you. And then the other thing is she is hosting, you may recall she was with us last year during Marketing Outside the Box, and we did a Ads That Attract series during this time of year, right before the holiday season. She's decided to continue that with her business, and she's offering a free 2-day workshop for that. So you want to go ahead and click that link and register as she helps you with Facebook ads, since we won't be covering ads during this particular Facebook series, okay? So again, if you need that and don't have it, just drop a note in the comment section or in the chat and we'll make sure you get it. And yeah, I think I'll hand it over to Tony. Oh, one more thing. For those that are with us, in the month of October, you should have finally received the presentation and everything from October. You all know I had homecoming in between, so there was kind of a gap. And if you weren't with us in October and you want the presentation on Instagram, again, send us a note and we'll get the presentation as well as the videos over to you. With that, Tony, I will kick it over to you, and I will pay attention to the comments and the notes in case there's anything that I need to relay back to you as you present.
Awesome. Thank you. So first, before I get started with my session, I did want to address Lorena. You had asked me last week about Calendly, connecting your Calendly to your Facebook page. I am putting it in the chat right now. That is what I found directly from Calendly themselves, but it seems like you need to have the paid Calendly, the professional Calendly, as well as it seemed to have emphasized either an event that you would be hosting on Facebook or advertising that you were doing. So either way, it's money. So it is a way to connect Calendly and Facebook, but it's not for free. So I did want to answer that question for you. So before I get started, or as I'm sharing my screen, if we could just put in the chat if you have a Facebook page for your business, and if you have a Facebook group that you manage, it'd be great if it's also for your business. So looking for either no and no, yes and yes, yes and no. So if you have a Facebook page, and if you have a group that you manage. And I just want to do an audio check because Zoom always lets me know that something's wrong with mine. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we hear you and we see the screen.
Awesome, great. So what's the feedback? Or at least does everybody have a Facebook page? Business Facebook page? Let me be specific. Okay, I'm seeing a nod. Let's see, what's the chat saying?
Yes.
Okay, yes and no. Okay, all right. And as I present, please let me know if I've convinced you to get a Facebook page as we get, I mean, not a Facebook page, a Facebook group, because I saw a couple no's for that. So we're gonna talk about Facebook groups and more.
Celia, and I hope I'm saying it right, on Facebook, letting you know that they have both the page and the group.
Awesome, great. Okay, so I'm Tony Barnes, this is Marketing Outside the Box, and we're gonna be talking about Facebook groups and more. So y'all, Facebook then upgraded again. So what I present to you is from the past week. Now, from what I can tell, it's just them updating and changing their name to Meta. Because Facebook is just so gigantic, we really don't know. To me, I really don't know until I go in and try to do something and realize, oh, the button has changed or it's moved somewhere else. So if this is no longer up to date, that is why. They just too much. Okay, so a quick review that I hope I drilled into everybody's head last week is that the Facebook Business Suite is for quickness and convenience. Okay, it's an all-in-one dashboard so you can see all that's going on with your Facebook page. And if you connected your Instagram. It's for responding and scheduling. And it provides access to other tools. It'll take you out of the Facebook suite, but it provides access to other tools such as Ad Manager and Business Manager. And then again, you can connect your Instagram profile, which if you are a business entrepreneur, which I'm assuming all of y'all are, I would highly recommend. Okay, so create the page if you don't have a Facebook page, but you have a business and you have a business, a personal profile on Facebook. So you have your own Facebook account. I am encouraging you to create a business page, okay? This is your storefront on Facebook. This is your little section of Facebook that you can send people to, okay? So put signs on the window, entice people to come in and stay a while. Y'all saw my business Facebook yesterday, okay? I would not expect anybody to be enticed to come in and spend some time on my Facebook page, right? But also let y'all know I abandoned that. If you want results from Facebook, don't have your Facebook page looking like mine, okay? You need to be putting signs in the window, and I'll demonstrate what that means, and enticing people to come and stay a while. So when creating the Facebook page, the bare minimum, okay, that you should have is the name, and it should be your business name, or if possible, a searchable name. Okay, so say that my business wasn't called Building the Boss, and let's just say it was Tony Barnes Consulting. I would probably, as a Facebook page, put Tony Barnes Business Consulting, because somebody might be searching on Facebook or Google and look for business consulting services. So I might put Tony Barnes Business Consulting Services, okay? But my name is Building the Boss, and I want my name in my name. Same thing, if you have something very vague, but that's the business of your name, if it doesn't seem too attention seeking, put the rest of it in there, services or herbal products or something of the sort, because people are searching, and that's how Facebook and Google suggest your page to people, is from the name. Yes, Max.
I wanted to add something to that about the name. I don't know if you're going to get to it or not, Tony, so sorry if you do. The other thing with having your name on your Facebook business page, having the business name as your page name, a few years ago, maybe just 2 years ago or so, Facebook actually added where you can have you know how on Instagram your name is the @ symbol and whatever you want it to be. So to the example Tony was just saying, it'll be her business name. You can also have that @ symbol. Tony can tell you what she suggests, whether you make it different than your business name or not, but I'll just use the Hustle page. For example, our business page name is Hustle Winston-Salem, but our @ name is Hustle WS. And we did that because we wanted to be the same across our various platforms on social media, so people could search us by Hustle WS on Facebook as well.
Yes, so I'll definitely be getting to that.
Sorry.
You're good. The next thing that will be asked of you is a category, and you can choose up to 3, but to create a page, you need 1, right? So for me, I have Building the Boss, Business Consultant, Business Services, I believe. And then I just added Financial Services because y'all, by the end of November, I will be certified as a bookkeeper because I know that my entrepreneurs and my clients need that. So I've added Financial Services. So if possible, if you can have 3 categories that fit your business, that's great, but don't add a category if that's not what you're offering. Okay, that's going to do more harm than good. Next would be your description. I want to stress this hard. Make sure that your description is original content. Okay, don't go to your Facebook or your Instagram or anywhere else and copy and paste. Okay, because what's going to happen is Google is going to send their little bots to all these websites and see that there's copied content, and they're going to put Facebook in front of your website. right? Because why would Google give you 2 listings when the Facebook is more popular? They want to provide a quality search for people, right? That's what we use Google for, like search. So for you to copy and paste it, you're pretty much telling Google, like, you can find it here or here. And because Facebook is way bigger than your website, they're going to put Facebook up there. When you might want, I know I would want to send people to my website. Am I making sense?
You are, and this ties back to when we did the SEO, like a CEO, marketing outside the box. We talked about that, Tony, so you're spot on.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody's following what she's saying. Please ask questions if you're not.
Yes, so it's pretty much going back to the storefront, right? If you have the ability to have 2 storefronts that can bring in customers, why would you reduce it to 1? And that's exactly what Google will do to you if you copy and paste. Okay, they're just gonna be like, well, since you got the same address, then we're gonna send people to that address. So that's what's happening. So make original content, and we'll get more into text and description later. Next would be pictures. Okay, I would not recommend that you announce or really like exit Facebook before you upload a profile picture and a cover picture. Contact information, website, phone number, email address, WhatsApp. So you don't have to have all of these, but at least one of these. Okay, I don't use WhatsApp, and I don't want people besides my clients to have my phone number. So and I don't actually give out my email address either unless I meet you in person. So all I have on there is my website. Now, all of my social medias are connected to my Facebook page. So there's ways for people to get in contact with me, but have a way for people to get in contact with you. And then your first post, okay, whether that's just the introduction, y'all, I made a Facebook page finally, or your story, this is why I started my business, or welcome to my Facebook page. Whatever it is, that's the bare minimum. You can put 1 post out there. Okay. Now let's optimize. So at the bottom left corner, that's exactly what Magdalene was talking about, of your custom Facebook URL. Okay. I, as a business strategist, will always advise that it's as cohesive as possible with the rest of your brand and anything else you have on the internet. All right. Hustle, for example, is Hustle WS on Facebook, but it's hustle_WS on Instagram, right? To me, that is still cohesive enough where you're not going to be mistaken for a different hustle somewhere else when you're Google searching, when you found them on Facebook and now you want to find them on Instagram. It's still cohesive enough where you know that you're talking about the same organization.
Yes. And at the time, Tony, when we first created it, Facebook wasn't allowing us to do underscores. They just only letters. So I don't know if that has changed or not.
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you noticed, but Instagram also allows you to have a way longer handle name too. So I would think so.
And Chef Marie has a question for you, Tony.
Oh, yes.
I just dropped it in the chat too, but mine, and I don't know if this is good or bad, that's why I wanted to ask. All of my handles are the same. So all of mine are at Beyond Decadence, laid out, no spacing, all run together across all my platforms. LinkedIn is the only one that's different, since that was, a personal, that profile is a little bit different. But is that good that they're all the same?
Yes, that's exactly what you want.
Okay, good. Okay,
yes.
Thank you. Okay.
You wanted to make it as easy as possible for your customers to hop from different platforms and find you. Yes, that is exactly what you want. So just depending on social media, we're hopping off of Facebook just for a second. For in general with social media, I've always had a problem either with a different business of mine or with clients' businesses. Right now, or the last time I checked at least, Twitter and Reddit were the ones that limited your handle character at this current moment in time. So if you plan on being on those platforms, you might want to start there with your handle. But other than that, I usually don't have a problem like with the name, and then try to do it honestly all in the same day or within the same week so that you can have a cohesive thing. Like you can find me at Building the Boss on all social platforms. The thing with Facebook though, when you do create your handle, it also creates your URL. So right now you can go to facebook.com/buildingtheboss and it'll take you straight to my page. Okay. And then if you want to tag me in a post, you can do that at Building the Boss. Okay. Awesome. So when we want to optimize our Facebook page, and optimize means we're being as effective as possible, trying to be found on Facebook. All text should be original, okay? And it should be what is being searched. All right, and then I will explain as we go. But that is the rule. Then you want to look into, is the template that your Facebook page has, is it appropriate for your business? Okay, so if I am a service-based business and all I offer is services, there isn't a reason why I should have shop, okay? The shop template, because that is for commerce, that is for people who are selling products. If I am a content creator and that's how I make most of my income, then I should most likely have the video template. Okay, so make sure that the template that you choose, there is a just overall generic one if you're just a little bit of everything, okay? But if you are a specific business, make sure that you have the appropriate template that Facebook provides, okay? Because it's not only is it the template and the tabs, but they have it in an order that's gonna give you the best results. You can always customize the order, but if you just like, I don't have time, let me just create this page, choose a template. Next is, are you using the features of that template that's available to you? Okay, because there is video, there's events, there's guides. I just found this out that I know you can do it on Instagram, but you can also have guides on Facebook. So are you using the guides that are available to you that can help you streamline what your audience can see? Are you using all of the features that are available on this Facebook page? Facebook is a beast. Okay, but if you can, what's the word? Domesticate it. If you can domesticate it, it can work for you, no problem, okay? And then are you posting often and diversely? Often and diversely, okay? Because if you don't have it in you to play on Facebook, then you need to post often and you need to post diversely. One, because often Facebook will push you to the bottom if you just decide that you're gonna post once a day or even once a week, okay? I would personally advise, if possible, 3 times a day, even if you're repeating the content, right? So you just like within a month, you've posted the same piece of content maybe 3 times, that's fine, but 3 times a day, okay? Diversely, don't just give me stock photos with a cute little caption. Okay, do a GIF, do a video, take a poll, ask questions, post diversely, use all the options available to you. And then with that, within a month or so, you can see like, what is your audience like? What brought you in more likes? Why are people following you? What do they want? Because you ask them polls, you can give them what they want. So all of this helps you utilize what's available to you and get better exposure. Again, exposure and diversity. I mean, diversity, discovery.
I have more questions. Do you want me to ask them now or?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, there was a question from Lucretia regarding the Facebook URL.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the handle, is that the same thing?
Yes, it is the same thing.
Can we change the handle in Facebook? I remember them giving me, they gave her a handle, L3 Photos, which is different from her Instagram when she created some time ago. So can she change the Facebook handle?
You should be able to, but I think there's a limit to how often. So I think if you haven't changed it before, you should be able to, but I think there is a limit to how often you could change it.
And if memory serves me right, don't quote me yet until we look at it, Lucretia, but I think if you go into your Facebook in the about section, the edit piece, the edit part of the about, that's where you can change it. but
Mhm.
I'm gonna check before we get off this call to confirm I didn't tell you a lie, okay? And then this next question, Tony, is what does all text should be original mean?
So the text in your description, your captions, the posts that you create, what other any form of word on your page should be absolutely original. It has not come from anywhere else. Now I can understand why that is a big feat, right? We use a lot of we're going to share on Facebook and Instagram, or we're going to take from MailChimp and put it on Facebook. And that's fine for those types of posts, but also just have some original posts as well. Don't have everything you post coming from your MailChimp or your Instagram, or it's also on Instagram. Have some things that are originally on your Facebook page.
And I spelled your name wrong in the chat, but Celia, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Please correct me if I'm saying it incorrect. But Celia, I want to make sure to point out when she says that, she also means don't copy and paste it, because we understand you're going to have some of the same text, some of the same words. So don't take it to that extent, meaning you have to come up with an entire new vocabulary. It's just literally she's saying don't copy and paste verbatim what you put in your MailChimp today into your Facebook page, or verbatim the homepage of your website onto your Facebook page, because what she's saying is that Google will then push people away from where you want people, unless you want people to go to your Facebook page, and that's different. If that's your goal, okay? Is that correct, Tony?
Correct. Yes. So yeah, exactly. Don't copy and paste. MailChimp might be a little different because only certain people are getting that e-blast. So then you might want to share it on Facebook. But like Instagram, if you want to do, and Facebook now has columns, which I'll talk about a little later. If you had a blog post that you now want to share on Instagram, just take inspiration from that blog post that's on your website and rewrite it in a different way on Facebook. Because then what you're telling the Google bots is that, this is a bigger website and it has the same content. Google's going to send you to that bigger website.
And Tony, my question, I just wanted to know if we have time. Are you going to do a walkthrough like you did last week, or will we not have time for you to do that for them?
Yes, I have that in there if we have time. I do. Okay, so exposure and discovery. So we're going to start on the left with our audience. Okay, this is even before we open facebook.com. Our audience, who are they? Obviously, we know the first one, they on Facebook. We know that about them. But besides that, who are they? What's their age? If it matters, what is their ethnicity? What's their gender, or do they not have one? Be inclusive over here. Who? Give me demographics. It could align with everything that is the demographics of your business, and then just the added bonus is that they're on Facebook. That's fine, but you need to know who they are. Following the why. So once you know who they are, why are they on Facebook? Okay, are they somebody like me that if Facebook didn't have groups and if my family wasn't on it, I would be gone with Facebook? Or are they on Facebook because that's where they get all of their information from? They get their news, they meet up with their family. Why are they on Facebook? Okay, and then what do they want out of Facebook? Again, if you look at me, I'm on there for family and I'm on there for groups. Okay, why do I do groups? What do I get out of groups? I get connection, I get a network, I get value sometimes depending on what group I'm in. That's the what that I get out of it. And the why is because Facebook has groups. Does that make sense to everybody?
It does.
Okay. So then we move on to search engine optimization. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Facebook, their search game is coming up. Okay, they got the hashtags now. And they have, like when you search for something on Facebook, they break it down in all these different categories to help you out. So it's not Google, but Facebook search engine is coming up. So I don't know if we've heard of long tail keywords, but use them on Facebook. There has been a number of times where I have searched for something in Google and a Facebook post or page has been like the top 2 or 3, okay? Maybe even 1 sometimes. So that was from long tail keywords. And so an example would be, because at this end of the day, even if the internet wasn't as saturated as it is, we're still a small business with a small budget, okay, or even non-existent. So a keyword would be apple pie, right? But McDonald's sells apple pie. McDonald's can throw $5 million so that they can rank for apple pie. And even if I was, as a consumer, to search apple pie, there's just so much different things thrown at me. So I need to be more specific. So maybe I want southern apple pie, a southern apple pie recipe, baking a southern pie for beginners. Those are all long tail keywords that'll give me a very more specific search. And that's why I'm encouraging you to use even in your Facebook page. Okay, and that once you got your long tail keywords, you put that in your name if possible. Okay, if you already have a set name for your business, then that's the name of your business. But if you have a very unique name, maybe, then you would need maybe a more searchable keyword in your name. And then also in your text, and all of your text, if it's relevant, you want to put that there. So if I baked an apple pie and I'm sharing the recipe on my Facebook page, then I would put, y'all, I just learned how to make this southern apple pie for beginners. Check out the recipe here. And something simple like that. Okay, and then we have the mean 18. So this is, Google looks at the first 18 characters of all content. Okay, so you could have the best post, blog, description, but if it doesn't have the first 18 characters as something that somebody is looking for, then it's very rare that it'll reach the first page. Okay. And then we have engage, engage, engage. So just because of like the industry that I'm in, when I hear call to action, I'm thinking money, or I'm thinking some type of added gain, I guess. So like, even if it's just your email address or something like that, that's what I think of. So I'm just gonna assume that y'all think of that too. But a call to action could be as simple as, y'all, I'm having a rough week in my business. Tell me how your week is going. That is a call to action. My call to action is, I want y'all to tell me how your business is going. It could be as simple as that. And that provides engagement. Also, right content at the right time. So if you're new, right, if I decided to start my Facebook page back up again and be more consistent with it, I wouldn't know the right time to post exactly, right? And I'll be still trying to fine tune the right content. But that's why I told you to post diversely and often, because after about a month, I will have some insights and some analytics that can give me, okay, well, definitely videos are doing great. Polls are next in line. And then usually I get my best engagement at 7 p.m. Or Saturdays are always booming, okay? So you always wanna look at your analytics to help you get better engagement. And then responsive. Facebook pages snitch on you, okay? They tell people if you are responsive, specifically with your direct messages. But you can also tell, you know, if you ever go scroll through somebody's Facebook page, and you see, okay, well, they got all these likes and they didn't respond to a single comment. Why would I want to engage with that page? So responsive, you have to be responsive to the engagement that's happening. That's how you continue the engagement. All right. So finally, y'all, I can't see my top one. Okay, so Facebook groups. Was there any questions about pages?
There are some questions. I was kind of battling them while you were presenting, but I want to share them if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So one, let me see where I stopped. One of the questions is,
Oh, God.
I use, no, did we already ask? Give me a second to find what the last question.
You're good.
Well, Chef Maria made a comment about, she heard that, you get dinged when you do the same post on different platforms, kind of like how you get dinged a little bit when you use Hootsuite. So she was making a comment that what you were saying, or, it's kind of true, because you don't want to have the same post on all the platforms. And then there was a question that I did ask a follow-up to, so I'm not quite sure, and maybe this is the perfect time to jump in and clarify. It says, I use my page to share information. I usually post articles written by others. How do I change this? I'm not quite sure what's being asked there, unless you understand, Tony.
So yeah, I get it. So pretty much what you would want to do, in my personal opinion, is you would want to take actually being the news sharer and be the news sharer. So instead of sharing the article, you would share your perspective of the article, maybe, or you just want to spit straight facts from the article, right? And be like, okay, maybe do a quick 60-second video or a recap post of the main points that this article was providing. And then possibly, if you want to learn more, check out here. Okay, that makes you the news sharer. And if they want to get the news, then they can click on the article, because that also is a deterrent, to me at least, because one of the reasons why I don't go to Facebook for news. But if I see a Facebook page that shares nothing but articles, I'm not interested. Like, I'm following you for a reason. So make sure that people know.
The follow-up from the same person with that is, I thought you said create original content.
Right. So that would be the original content. I don't know. Give me an article.
I think I understand now that I've heard Tony's description. So just to answer that, I think it's okay for you. And again, it's Celia. I hope I'm saying your name right, but you can share the articles that you're sharing. When you reshare it to your page, it's in your best interest to put a comment, or don't just reshare the link. Say something. I'm not sure what your business is, but for example, if I saw an article about diversity and entrepreneurship and I wanted to share it on the Hustle page, I would share it from wherever I found it, whether I shared it from another Facebook page or whether I copied and pasted a link or whatever to my page. I would still have a comment. I would still write something saying, this article speaks exactly to what our mission is, whatever it is that I want to say. And that still makes it your original, even though the article isn't yours, it's still your original content in the post. So I hope that makes a little bit more sense. Yes, you can definitely unmute. Yes, there's no rules here. So please unmute.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So it's Celia, by the way. My business is a subscription box for menopausal women and providing natural products. So I generally share articles about natural products that help with menopause, with the menopause symptoms. I'm not a full expert in that area. There are other people who, specialize in that area. And I share articles from other people, and I usually make a comment above, the article. So that's why I was asking that question, because I literally could not learn enough to be the original source on this information.
Right. So I want to make a comment, because I do want to help you out, not just give you an answer to your question, but make sure that your page is excellent, great. Facebook is going to ding you for sending somebody outside of Facebook. We're at that point with all social platforms, right? They want people to stay on their platform. So it's not going to be a big ding, especially if you get a lot of engagement. But it could be one of the deterrents that you're having, possibly. But also, you might want to utilize like the columns that's now provided, where you do a brief review of the article. Not from an expert perspective at all, because I don't know if anybody can recall, but blogs always started from just I want to share my feelings. It wasn't necessarily I'm an expert in this field. So you could just do a quick summary of the article, and then in the column, you could tag, or you could copy and paste the link to take people to the article. But Facebook wants you not only to keep people on their platform, but keep people on your page and engage with your page. So if you send them a link to take them out of that, it could ding you just a little bit, but pretty much it's just personalize it, with the things that Facebook is telling you that they're focusing on, which would be video, which would be the audio rooms and things like that. Does that answer your question at all?
She commented it was thankful. It was
Okay.
helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
So you have 2 more questions and 1 comment.
Okay.
The next question is, do Facebook have hashtags?
Yes. And they're focused on it more than I think ever before.
And I did make a comment to Tiffany about that you spoke briefly about hashtags last week on Facebook, and we'll send the video and the presentation. The next question was from Marianne. She sent it to me. It says, I have not used my Facebook business page in months. How does that affect me? Will I have to get a new page to be recognized by algorithms?
Absolutely not. I think you'd actually do a disservice if you did a new page. But I mean, I wouldn't either. If I started up my page again tomorrow, because I haven't been on my page in months, if I was to start my page up tomorrow, I would just probably have a batch of content already created, right? And schedule it out. And do everything I'm telling y'all in the video. I would never tell to people to do anything that I would not do. So everything I'm telling y'all right now in the presentation, I would do for myself, right? So I would look at who I'm really trying to target, which would be entrepreneurs that are, running a business by themselves, solopreneurs. Why are they on Facebook? Usually a part of some business group, usually women. Also, I'm going to be honest, between the ages of 25 and about 50 is who I usually consult with. And then what do they want? They want help with their business. And if Facebook can help them out, then I can help them out. Or I might do content that's exclusively about how to run a business on Facebook, right? And then I'll use long tail keywords and make sure that my text is searchable, make sure that my 18 characters are great, and engage. Anytime somebody comments, sends me a direct message, I'm responding. But I actually think it would be a disservice to do a new Facebook page. It's not necessary.
Okay, and then the only comment, hopefully that was helpful, Marianne, and if not, you can definitely send a request to have a one-on-one with myself or Tony about bringing back your page.
Thank you.
And then the last comment I wanted to share, Tony, well, this is for everyone else. I did put in the chat and in the comment section on Facebook the link to actually update your username if you want to change that @name on Facebook. So you have those instructions. And that's it, Tony. You can think.
I think actually even one more thing, Marianne, I think Facebook would actually help you out just a little bit and say, hey, Marianne posted for the first time in however long, or your page name has posted in the first time in however long. I get those notifications sometimes from different groups and pages that I have liked or subscribed to. So Facebook might even help you out if you decide to continue posting.
And 2 comments shared to that conversation is, one person said, I took 1 month off when I was on a hiatus and barely posted during that time. It kills your reach when you come back. It takes a while to build the reach again. And then another comment is, I haven't posted much in months and I'm now restarting, and Facebook does message me all the time asking me to post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it would be this, to me, the reach would be the same whether you started a brand new page or if you came back from a page, but that is absolutely true. Yes, it's an uphill battle. Absolutely. So next is Facebook groups. And Facebook groups, it's about community. Like even when you go, if you do facebook.com/business, you want to be looking at business pages. But if you do Facebook groups, facebook.com/community, they're going to talk to you about groups. Okay, so groups are about creating a community. It's to get to know your audience on a deeper level. All right, it's to build a culture, to create a space that is on brand for you, and it's to foster connection, to develop something bigger than your business. So, especially with the foster connection and developing something bigger, it's all about that one phrase. People don't remember what you said; they remember how they made you feel. Right? When you think about maybe even alumni, that really love their school, maybe Magdalene can talk about this, but that really love their school, it's usually not necessarily, I know probably for Magdalene that's different, but it's not necessarily the institution, it's the experience, it's the connections that you have with other people, it's the how you develop through those experiences. That is usually why somebody is proud to say that they're such and such. And that's what you want with your community. So managing a Facebook group can be like controlling a beast, depending on how big it gets and depending on how loose or strict your rules are, okay? And one thing that Facebook has made clear, I think for probably about 2 years now, is the admins of that group is responsible for that group, all right? Now on a detailed legal effort, Facebook is still responsible, but they're putting a lot of the responsibility on you, okay? So you need to foster a community that is safe, okay, that is not necessarily, what's the word I'm looking for? Prejudice, there we go. That's not prejudice. That is just overall not bad. I don't know how else to describe it. Anything violent, they're gonna put on you if you don't delete it. Anything that is against any civil rights or of the such, or, you know, bad things. I don't think we need to go into all the things that could happen online, but Facebook's gonna put that on you and they're gonna ding you for it. So please realize, like, when you decide to start a Facebook group and you want to build it to something, you're pretty much saying that you want to be some sort of community manager. And that's a big role. So to start a group, here's a little checklist at again, a bare minimum. A searchable name. So this is not something that you would necessarily put your business name on unless you have a popular business, okay? So, I don't know. Give me a Hustle. Let's do Hustle. So if Hustle decides to start a group, right? I think Hustle is a searchable name. So Hustlers, maybe they want to call this Facebook group Hustlers or the Hustle Hub or something like that. I think Hustlers is good. They could also do something about inclusive economy, although you have to look at who's really searching for inclusiveness on Facebook, but something of the sort that goes along with the brand of Hustle, but it doesn't necessarily have to be Hustle. Description, that would go back to long tail keywords. But also, this is where you kind of do your pitch of like, why would I want to join this group? What does this group have to offer me? Then you have to decide if it's going to be private, public, or secret. Secret, you can't find it nowhere. You have to be invited into the group or sent a link. Private, you can look for it, but you can't see the posts or the members. You can probably see admin, I believe. And then public, it's available for anybody. You can still join a public group, but you don't have to see all that's going on. And then you would need a photo and then intro content. And then finally, I would highly, highly recommend that you have the rules. Facebook gives you the bare minimum, but if there's anything else you might want, and questions. So if it's a private group, you have the ability to ask questions. I think even public groups can do this. You ask questions of like, maybe why do you want to join? Or I'm a part of a lot of Black groups, right? And they'll ask you, do you identify as Black? And that's just a basic question. So yes, any questions? Oh Lord, you don't hear my dog?
Dogs are barking in my neighborhood right now too. I don't know if you all hear it. Well, I think you're going to cover what I was about to ask, so go ahead.
Okay.
And I don't think I see any questions in the chat, no.
Okay, so Facebook has
10 minutes.
Oh God, okay. Facebook has done an upgrade with groups in the last, I think, month or so. And so you have questions, posts. These are all different types of posts that can be done in groups, okay? So you have questions and Q&A. So questions are just like for individuals, like I have a question, I'm gonna ask the members of this group. And then you have Q&A, which is surrounding a topic. Like I could go into a group, one of my business groups, and be like, I'm Tony Barnes, ask me about business development. And people can just ask all the questions and I would answer them. Okay, so one is kind of like a, I don't know, like a engagement, more of engagement versus just the individual question of like, y'all, how do I add this to my Facebook page? The next is Rooms. Rooms is the newest kid on the block. It is the audio version is a direct copycat of Clubhouse. And you can just host rooms, just like if you're familiar with Clubhouse, you decide the topic that you guys want to talk about, and then people give feedback and, you know, on stage and stuff like that. Then you have files and columns. So say Keisha, I think that's her name. Keisha that sent y'all the downloadables through Hustle's newsletter. If she decided like, actually she's gonna post that in her Facebook group, because she has one if I'm not mistaken, she would just upload that as a file. And then anybody that's a part of her Facebook group would have that file available to them. And columns, again, is just like your own little blog, like your own article that you wanna write, which is, I think, a copycat of LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, you can write an article. And then you have recommendations, which I think everybody should be familiar with if you're familiar with Facebook, because it's just like what would you recommend for, like Lorena, if I had a group and she decided like, I need a new scheduling app that's gonna integrate with my Facebook page, she could be like, what scheduling apps do you guys recommend for integration? And then people would be able, the members of the group would be able to answer her question or give her recommendations pretty much. So tips for a group engagement, real quick, y'all. I was hoping I had time to walk through, but we'll see. So first, again, I want to remind you, you are responsible for this group and anybody that you assign as admin. So you should set the rules in the first interaction, which would be in the questionnaire or when they join. These are the rules of this group. But then also every so often, just drop it in the chat. I want to remind you, I know a lot of times, in my bigger groups I'm a part of, there's an admin that addresses issues that probably have been more lax for the rules. So always do that. So with engagement in your groups, you might want to have a little bit of exclusivity, right? So while you want to include all of your audience on all these different platforms, have something that's, you know, maybe exclusive to your Facebook group. So again, let's go back to Hustle. And Hustle's all about inclusion, right? So this is kind of contradictory to their brand, but maybe they do it where the Facebook group gets first dibs on deciding the next marketing outside the box topic. Now everybody's gonna have that, but Facebook group gets first dibs. That could be something that is exclusive to the Facebook group. Then you wanna go live. People love live on Facebook, apparently, especially when you think about the community aspect, right? If some random person on my Facebook was to go live, I probably wouldn't be interested. But I'm a part of, again, I told you I was part of a lot of Black groups. Like there's Black women forming friends. They go live every now and again. And they try to like connect people in different cities. And I tune in every now and again, which is unlike me in my Facebook activity. Then you want to provide value.
I want to throw, I know we're really low on time, but I also want to throw out there that I think now you could go live within the Facebook group.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant live, like Facebook Live in general.
Oh, no. Yes, everything I'm saying, everything listed here is for specifically Facebook groups and to get engagement in the Facebook group. Absolutely. So provide value, right? So maybe, again, it could go fall underneath exclusivity and it's attached to guides. Maybe there's something that is so valuable and that is the way people join and that's why people stay. Okay, you need to figure out what that is and keep on providing it to them. So maybe Hustle had a Facebook page and we had this thing called marginalized moments, right? And this is where people could anonymously, because that is a feature in groups, anonymously submit when they felt discriminated against in their business, okay? And that is a value, right? They're able to express themselves and be free and let people know like this is something that's happening, okay? And then Hustle could give them guides. Well, these are the people, if you have a problem, follow this order to address the issue in the community, or some type of guide that helps people, conquer being discriminated against. Because guides are just, a cohesive post or several posts that are cohesive. There we go. And then you have appreciation. So make sure that your members feel appreciated. Okay, however you decide to do that is depending on the group and your brand, but make sure that you appreciate them. Okay, one of the ways you could do that is with networking. So you could be connecting people together. Maybe Hustle had a thing where every Tuesday you comment on this post, and then they'll connect you to somebody that you think would be great in business or to do a collaboration with or something like that. That's showing that you appreciate them being there, and also that you're connecting them with new people that they probably didn't know about. So you need to figure out why people are joining your group, okay? And stay true to that. But you also need to allow the culture to form itself, okay? Going back to the alumni situation, if a school told you this is exactly what you need to do, we don't do that, and they didn't allow students to be free and express themselves in different groups and communities, then I don't think people would love college as much as they do if they do love their college. So I think this is the last slide. Yeah, it is. Was there any comments, questions, concerns?
Perfect timing. Thank you, Tony. There is a question in the chat, and I want to share with everyone before those that have to leave right at 1:30 leaves. I think what I'll try to do is take the next 5, 7, 10 minutes of next week and maybe do a quick walkthrough, of some of the things Tony went through today, or maybe Tony will do it, but just know that we'll give you that walkthrough. Tony, we're in your email. Is that your email or that's your Facebook? Okay.
No, it's okay.
You wanted that to be shared. But there is a question for you, Tony, or 2 questions. And if you have to leave, thank you so much for joining us. I know we're right at 1:30, but if you can stick around to hear the responses, that's great as well. We'll be here same time, same place next week, and we're going over the content creator. You get to hear me talk for an hour. The question from Tanya is, can you have multiple groups to funnel different types of information your audience would need, like one for downloadable content and one for those for those seeking help and wanting to ask questions?
Absolutely. The only thing is people do not join groups to get sold to, right? I'm sure you're not doing this, but I just want to share it. We don't join groups to get sold to, we join groups to have a community of some sort. So as long as you're not there, pitching, it should be fine. If people want to have it so you can find different places that give free downloadables, then yes, we're all a community of people who love free downloads.
And what I added to that in my response as well is, yes, you can do it, but for those that are considering it, just keep in mind each group that you create, like Tony shared in the presentation, you have to manage each group, whether that means it's a new set of rules, whatever, and reminding people the rules, engaging in each of those groups, etc. And the next question is, how often should we go live?
That is up to you and your community. And also what the live is, right? So Magdalene could probably speak to this. I think people would get a little overwhelmed with maybe doing a live of collaboration every week personally, unless you're doing it on different days and you'll get different people. But you never want to to me, every week, if you're gonna do every week, it should be diverse, right? Don't do the same thing every week unless it's part of a series or some sort. Give people different things, but it's all reliant on your community, why they're there, and the culture you're trying to build.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would have said. It's literally based on your audience. I don't think there's a perfect answer to that question. It's literally the audience, that the culture of the audience you created in your group. Are they looking for you to go live every day? You might have an audience that's thinking, we need a morning motivation live. We need a midday meetup to motivate us, midday motivation, and something at the end of the day. You might have a group that wants you to go live 3 times a day, 4 days a week. So it's really based on your audience. So we won't get into it because we're out of time. I always stress, know your audience, know your goals. And then Chef Maria made a point that Facebook now allows you to go live from your laptop. In the past, you could only go live on Facebook from your phone. So you could now do it from your laptop. She asked, didn't they get rid of poll on the business pages?
No, I mean, I just did a poll. Hold on now. I don't want to lie to y'all. But I just did a poll not too long ago. When I say not too long ago, I mean like 2 months ago.
They may have, and I don't know if they did or didn't because I haven't used a Facebook poll in forever. But we can look into that and get back to you.
I don't think they did though. I'm gonna go out there and say.
And then the final question is from Kenneth. Should a website be the very first? I don't know if there's supposed to be a word after first, but should a website be the very first plus the name of the first 2 social media platforms she mentioned to start with? Kenneth, do you want to clarify that question? Is Kenneth still with us? Yeah, Kenneth, are you free to unmute and clarify that question? Should a website be the very first plus the name of the first 2 social media platforms she mentioned to start with? Do you know what that may be in reference to, Tony?
Maybe with the bare minimum slide. Oh, yes, the first platform.
The very first platform plus the name of the first 2 social media platforms. The first platform for what? Can you clarify what you're referring to, Kenny?
To your business, I think. And I do stand corrected. I do not see it on a Facebook post.
You do not see
that
what?
Is correct. To do a poll.
Oh, so correct, Chef Maria. Facebook polls are gone.
They are gone.
Yeah, I think they're only on the personal pages now. I just wanted to check because
they are on the groups as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So that's what I did actually. I did the poll on my group and then I shared it to my page. So people can vote on my page from that poll.
Oh,
it's a public group.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Kenneth, I'm not getting the clarity, so I'm not sure if we answered your question or not.
So the way I understand it is you're talking about the platforms of your business and what you should be on. I always would recommend, if you can, to have a website for your business off gate, because I think personally, if you can get a URL and a domain and a URL that's all cohesive, that's the best for your branding. So, and then also with your Facebook page, you're able to put your website on your Facebook page. So having a website first, I think, is the overall best option. Okay, and then use that name of your domain as the handle and URL for your Facebook page and other social platforms. That is how I understand it.
So hopefully that was helpful, Kenneth. And again, we'll probably give maybe 5 to 7 minutes at the start of next week to kind of just walk you through the page setup that Tony covered in the beginning, as well as just show some of the features on the Facebook group before we jump into the content creator or the creator studio, excuse me, on Facebook next week. And just, I know Tanya, I believe it was, she may be gone. She had that question. No, Tanya's still here. The comment about being uncertain about Facebook groups. And I just want to stress the point that I made to her for everyone that's still listening. Even if you don't create your own group just yet, it's a really good idea to join groups as your business page. Some groups don't allow it for business pages to join, but for groups that are within your industry or a place where you could potentially build a network for your business, it's good to join those pages. And if you can't do it as a business page and you choose to join it as your own Facebook page, that's good as well, because you'll get the knowledge and you're able to exchange knowledge, keeping in mind to respect whatever rules that particular group has in place. If they don't want you promoting anything, then don't do that, etc. But if you're not comfortable yet creating and optimizing your own Facebook group, it's a good idea to kind of get comfortable with other groups and see how they're using it for their business, and then create your own community. And I'm stressing that because Facebook groups have made such a difference for small businesses and even larger businesses. I think of the Trader Joe's Facebook group, and I think of the Lip Bar, which y'all know I am impartial to, I'm partial to, excuse me, but the Lip Bar Facebook group, they're very active communities for their business, and it does not require too much of their team and their staff because the members of the group keep the group active, okay? So
I do want to stress to like, don't start a group artificially or for superficial reasons, right? Start it with because you want to build something bigger than your business. And that's why you wouldn't name it your business name.
got it.
That's how you get a community that can keep the group going without you having to be there.
Fantastic. Well, I know we kept you a little over time. We're probably nearing 1:40. So thank you all so much. Again, same place, same time. Join us on Zoom, join us on Facebook, although we prefer to have you in the Zoom with us. There was one more question, Tanya, Tony, and I could address that. You're very welcome, Chef Maria. So if you have to leave, thank you again for joining us. And Tanya, we're going to answer your question if you want to stick around for a minute, but everyone else, feel free to stay, but don't feel pressured, okay? And the question is, since my business page is set up under my business name, but through my personal Facebook, will my personal name be the only way I can join other groups, or is there a way to join comment under groups under the business page? Do you have a second? I'm going to share my screen real quick because I want to show you. I want to make sure I answer it, but I feel like I can answer it by showing. I have so many screens. Okay, is this it?
While Megley's pulling that up, I want to say that it's completely up to the group that you're in. Some groups do not allow business pages or other pages to join. They only allow profiles. I mean, like personal profiles to join. So it's completely up to the group that you're trying to join.
Correct. This isn't a good example because I'm the administrator of this page. What's the page I'm not an administrator of, but I can comment as me. I don't know what I follow with my personal page anymore, guys. I feel like can y'all see my Facebook? Are y'all looking at Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's so weird to see it in white.
Oh, Facebook, because you're in dark mode.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I follow this with my personal page. I think I must have. Okay. I hope I do. So let's just say I want to comment. Does Hustle not follow this? 1 second. Like as your page. Huh. Why that's oh, we do. Okay, I just have so many pages. Got it. It's a tricky thing, so it's hard for me to explain what you're asking.
Click on your picture next to comment, write a comment.
No, it's normally here.
Um,
Like when you're right. I know what she's asking, but it's so weird. The reason it's weird, Tanya, the reason I'm trying to find a page that I have access to both on is some pages allow you to and some pages don't. It's a really, Facebook, when we tell you it's a beast, we're not lying, okay? I'm just gonna use this as an example and hopefully you're gonna get an echo for a second, okay? So my apologies in advance. All right. So this is a good example when I'm writing a comment, right? You see how next to the picture Hustle, can you see my mouse? Y'all see my mouse?
mm-hmm.
So next to the circle Hustle here, I can choose to change that and comment as me, as opposed to commenting as Hustle, if my mouse would act right. And you can also, I think, do it up here. Comment. Like I can change who I'm interacting as right here. So it's just really weird because Facebook, I actually don't know the rationale behind why it does it on some pages and some don't. This page is because I'm an admin, so I know that. I was trying to go to a page that I follow. I don't know, Tanya. We're gonna have to do a one-on-one because we're gonna be here till 2:30 if it's up to me. I know how to do it, but Facebook is such a beast that you have to like go through trial and error before you like get it right. And you're like, oh yeah, it's here, it's there.
I do believe though,
You could use my page if you want to,
I
because
don't think I follow you, right? What's your name?
John Decadence.
That's right. But I don't think this face does Hustle follow you. We can do it now. Perfect timing, isn't it? Am I spelling it right, Decadence?
Yep,
Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah, I was asking because I've noticed that I have to, like, I just want to make sure I'd set up the account right whenever I put in the page. It has to go through my personal account, right?
Say that again.
Like whenever I set up my page, I had to go through my Tonya account. I can't set up an account under the business name and then make a page. Or am I misunderstanding that part of it?
no, that is correct.
Okay, so then whenever I go in, I know like if I put a post out, I can choose whether it's coming from my business page or from my account, like if I'm creating a post,
Mhm.
or if I'm going to share something from someone else. But whenever I've gone into groups, the ones that I have on my own, I see it's only under my name, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
my
see a
group.
choice. Yeah, like if like if I want to join a group, until I start making groups, joining other groups, being part of the conversation would be a way to kind of help get some information out there without really promoting, but just by participating in conversations. But if I'm participating under my name and not the business name, it's not really helping. You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
Right,
I did.
so I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about pages in general. For groups in general, you don't have the authority to determine if you can operate as your group or as yourself. The group owner does. The group determines if a page can join or if an individual must join. So if you
So
try to
whenever
join a group as a page and that group does not allow pages, Facebook will default to you, the person asking to join the group.
okay, so it will be an option if that particular group allows pages to join.
If the group allow pages, yes.
Okay,
So these are the pages that Hustle is a member of, not Magali. Hustle, the page.
okay,
Because they allowed pages to join their groups. Versus if I go to my personal page and you see all the groups I'm a part of, you know what I mean?
right. Because I see the advantage here, because what my husband and I are starting a podcast the first of the year, and it's just going to be service free of charge for people. But I'd love to be able to use that name as I'm starting in conversations instead of it being me personally. But I don't know if I'm doing it the right way. And eventually I could see the value of setting up groups. I just don't know that I'm going to have the time to get the interview set and everything for the podcast, as well as monitoring a group as people are coming in. But I could see it being a great way of support once we get going and we have an audience following us.
And what you can do, a quick tip that I'll give you is if you decide to go ahead and create that, I always encourage people to create it because you don't want somebody else to take the name, because once the name is taken, that's out.
Right.
Even if you don't do anything with it yet. But you can probably leave it as an open group to begin with, so that if you don't think you have the capacity to manage and things of that nature, you can leave it as an open group. So you're building the page, the group membership, I should say. And then when you're ready to kind of take more of a lead in it, you can kind of decide, okay, I'm going to make this a private group. People have to request to join. And then the members that are in there, you can decide, okay, guys, I have rules now. These are the rules. If you don't agree with these rules, feel free to leave the group, et cetera, et cetera. Like you don't have to, my belief, especially when it comes to business owners, is if we don't do something, we're never going to do anything. Right?
So if it starts, so you're saying start as a public group that's just open for everyone.
If you don't want to manage like who you're going to approve to get into the group or not, if you don't want to deal with that right away, then yeah, just make it a public group that people can search for and join if they, have a description so they know what they're joining.
Right.
And you can even have a comment, hey guys, this group, we're just building our membership. We'll be more active.
Oh, okay.
Please feel free to use this audience to share content or whatever. It's when you create a group, it's whatever you want it to be.
But where my concern was, what's my liability if that, because then if I'm not really monitoring it closely, then what's happening there if something goes haywire?
Well, there's things that you can, it's way advanced, but there's words that you can put in that, that you that will get blocked or it will need approval before it gets
Oh,
posted.
okay.
Yeah, and if you don't
Facebook.
inquire, you can literally decide to end the group. You have the power to do that.
Okay. Okay. So I can put in like a blacklist for
Yeah.
these phrases and words that, okay. Cause it's all geared towards special needs. So I could see there's some potential there that there could be some hate or some negative coming in if it's
Yeah.
completely open. And I'd hate for a family to log in and see that as the first thing that they read. So I was just concerned about that part of it too. But yeah, but putting in potential phrases that are pretty common, I could go ahead and set that as a link too. Okay, well, great. I appreciate you taking the time to walk through this.
I did want to touch on one more thing for you, Tanya.
Yeah.
Is it Tonya? Did I hear you say Tonya?
It
Tanya?
is
Oh,
Tonya, yes.
Tonya.
Tonya.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I am a very private person when it comes to my personal Facebook page. And so I am a part of a few groups, right, where people think because I've engaged in that group that now we're friends on Facebook. So I do want to put that out there, although if it's a group that you did want to join as a business, but they don't allow pages to join, I would not let that discourage you from engaging in that group because people are nosy in my personal opinion. Or if you're providing great value, like people want to connect with you. So if you are somebody like me that also is like, I don't add friends, you could send them and say, hey, I have a Facebook group or I have a Facebook page that I can send you to that
Yeah.
hope you engage with.
I appreciate that because I was concerned about that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because yeah, I don't add people that I don't know.
Yeah. Well, thank you both.
You're welcome. Hopefully you can join us next week.
Yep. I've been enjoying this. I jumped in last month about halfway through it. I've really enjoyed what both of you are bringing to us.
Thank you.
All
Enjoy
right.
your day.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Oh, she left. Dang.
She had I think she had a question, but she just put a message in there that she has to jump off.
Oh, okay.
Talking about Lucretia, right?
Yes, girl. I'm so trash. I just responded to her email from last week.
You're still live.
Oh.
Kenneth, did you have a question for us? Are you good? I see you're still here. All right, well, I'll go ahead and stop the live. Thank you to the Facebook audience.
Thank you.